All right, everyone, how are you? Welcome to this week's episode of our podcast. It's called Is Breakfast Included? Thanks for stopping by. On the show this week, I talked to my longtime friend, Brett Pirozzi. Now, we talked about him being attacked. We talked about him being in the movie Strangeland, his first band, Bile, his current band, Messiah 9. Talked about all that. But what this interview really was he and I just going back and forth, telling stories about our 30-year friendship and how we just have so much fun when we're hanging out. Brett is a real one, and I was really happy that he reached out and we arranged this. I hope you enjoy it. Let's check it out. Tell everyone who you are.
What's up, everyone? I am Brett Pirozzi. I've been teching for bands and forever. Skid Row, Tesla. I was in Bile. You probably guys never heard of it. And we did Strangeland. Have you seen that movie with Dee Snider? We're the band. Mortal Kombat soundtrack we were on, and then Green Jello. I was in. I mean, I can go on forever.
Yeah.
I was in Green Jello for a long time until it got kind of stupid. Like now it's like, it's just Bill doing what he does and having these fucking punters come out and play for him, not get paid shit. Okay, anyway, that's just so funny. And the roadie documentary. I'm in that.
Exactly.
You gotta remember, if you saw that movie, you remember me, because I'm like one of the best parts of it. And I know you did TJ, and he's my boy. I love TJ. Like, TJ's like really, like, real dude.
He's a real dude, right?
He can kill you in 2 seconds, but he doesn't act like he can.
No,
those guys.
Yeah, TJ's the real guy, man. I hounded him for a few months. I was emailing him, and every the Instagram and Facebook, and I found an email, and then finally he responded one day, and he's like, "Oh, I just saw this. Yeah, I'd love to do the show." And then he said, "Come to my place." Because I was in New Jersey at the time, Jersey City. He said, "Just come to my place. We'll do it here." And I was thinking the whole time on my way there, I was like, I don't even know this guy. House, But man, TJ and I hit it off. To this day, man, we talk.
That's funny because I thought you knew him already, because doing what you do, doing what he does, I figured you guys like knew each other. And it's kind of funny you were trying to do that, not knowing that. I mean, Jesus, he's my boy. I mean, wow. You could have been like, "Yo, Brett, hook me up with TJ." I would have been like, "All right."
Well, I
weird. I thought you guys knew each other, but you can tell, man. He's cool, like super nice. And now that he's sober, he's even nicer.
Yeah, I didn't know him before, but I thought, man, this guy. But he's got a great story, man. And I mean, you were the first subject of conversation before we started.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Right on. He said me and Brett went through the trenches together with Skid.
It's funny. I can tell you, just talking about TJ, 2 quick funny stories. It was so long ago, but I remember just being at a bar with Skid Row, and it's Skid Row without Sebastian. Remember, it's Snake and Rachel and Scotty.
Yeah.
And I think some guy at the bar was something about Sebastian or something stupid like that about not having Sebastian, like praising him, and TJ pummeled the dude in the goddamn in the booth, like, and then one time I remember yelling at the monitor guy to turn like Snake up or somebody up, and yelling, the guy's not paying attention. He ran over there again at the guy in the headlock. It's like this. Remember, this is when he drank. Anyway,
it's hilarious. I don't know that TJ.
Yeah, those are 2 quick TJ
stories. I never see him doing that. He's so such a nice guy.
I know. I've been pretty lucky, man. I've had, for working for bands as long as I have, I did Skid Row for 20 years, and I've had every tour manager they had was awesome.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty lucky with them. TJ is one of them, Mike Nash. I don't know if you know Nash.
Yeah, I know Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Man, everybody's cool. Tony Lantini's cool. And then, like, I do Tesla too. We got Dean. I'm just trying to give props to some cool tour managers, because I've dealt with a lot of them, and a lot of them are arrogant assholes, and some of them are really cool and know how to keep everybody cool, and just, I mean, there's no Anyway, that was it.
Mike's doing country now. Joe Nichols or something.
Yeah, he jumped ship a long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember he even told me, he's like, did you offer me a gig a while ago? I'm like, dude, because I hate country music. And I'm like, I can't, listen. And I'm like, but the girls. I'm like, yeah, I know. There ain't girls at these at the shows I'm doing, and the money, of course. But it was funny because it was years ago, and like as I got older, now I'm like, yeah, I think I could do that, Mike Nash. So if you're listening, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, yeah,
Well,
he's doing good for himself.
where are you from originally?
Long Island, New York,
Long
Strong
Island.
Island, New York,
Yeah, and you were in a
as
band.
we would call it. Yeah,
Strong.
back in the day. Yeah, I grew up. It's funny because I talk about on the radio show is that I grew up when bands were all friends with each other, and we would hook each other up, and we would let somebody open up or do whatever, and it was a unity. I mean, a lot of stuff has changed with paying to play, but you can obviously see the unity isn't there at all. But a lot of stuff has got like I'm old, we're old. A lot of stuff has changed.
Yeah, yeah,
But in Long Island, it was kind of cool. Like there was Life of Agony and Typo Negative and Suffocation, and we had Bile and all these bands that were even though like some of it was hardcore, some of it was metal, some was death metal, some it
yeah,
was industrial. We all hung out and we all did shows together, which was kind of cool.
yeah, yeah. I remember
So I was
almost.
thinking about that the other day. It was really cool.
Yeah, we
Now
had
it's
Evan from Biohazard on the show not too long ago.
who from Bio?
Evan from
Oh,
Biohazard.
Evan. Yeah, yeah, dude. You know, it's funny because I do the radio show. I played a bunch of Biohazard these past couple of weeks, and then I always forget that Evan had long hair and looked the way he did because it's been so long. He looks so different now. I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy.
Yeah,
It's like unbelievable. And then doing the porn stuff and oh my god, stuff with Sebastian on that when they put him in that house.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
amazing.
You seen him lately? You follow
No, I haven't seen, dude. I haven't seen anybody lately. I'm happy to talk to somebody. I don't leave
him?
my house. I really don't. I go on tour. I come home. I stay in my house. I go on tour. And I come. I'm sure you do the same thing, but you got kids and stuff. I don't have any of that, so I don't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just work on my stuff.
You were in Bile back
Yeah,
in the
that's
day.
how I met you. That's crazy how long we've
Yeah,
known each
yeah. We
other.
met we met when you were in Bile. I remember you told me this hilarious story. It's one of the first things you told me about you guys doing a show with Rammstein at a club, and I want to say,
Yeah, the bank in New York. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead. Go. I want
and
to
you
remember.
guys were
Hear if
one
you
of the first
remember.
bands to do the whole mask and thing.
Yeah, we definitely. I mean, we were. I mean, I'd have to say we were.
Yeah, and you guys are back in the same dressing room with those guys getting dressed, and they were putting their gear on, looking at you guys like you're crazy, and you were looking at them like,
Dude, I can't believe you remember that. That's awesome. It was their first because we had this guy Ramsey who worked for TVT Records.
yeah,
He was trying to get assigned to TVT at the time. He was our manager, and I don't know if Rammstein got signed to TVT or if they were looking at him. That's so long ago, I forgot. But yeah, their first show in America was at the Bank in New York, and we opened for them. And the Bank in New York's got one dressing room. It's just kind of a small club, which is even funny because we had like 13 people in the band. They had 13 people in the band. But I remember they all had silver outfits on and didn't speak English really. And Bile, we were crazy. We looked crazy. I mean, I'll say this right now. Google it because I can't explain how we looked. But we were staring at them like, what the fuck are these guys? We really didn't know who they were. We heard about this band from Germany that was coming here to do the show, and they're going to be huge. And so yeah, it was kind of funny. We were just staring at each other, and that was actually at that show. The only pyro that Rammstein had was he had this silver shoulder pad thing that he lit on fire, and that was it. And it's crazy that was their first show they ever did in America. You think I would have ties to them or even know any of them? I don't.
yeah,
And it's crazy because I love every one of their videos. They are like, when Foo Fighters does their videos and they're funny. If you ever see Rammstein videos, they're like that times 1,000.
yeah,
They were and their music's so militant, and I can't believe how good they are.
yeah.
I want to see one of those stadium shows.
Dude,
God,
they're
it's just
crazy,
crazy.
aren't they?
I can't believe you remember that story, which is really man, that was wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was one of you were telling me some stories about it, and you said because Rammstein was new. They were a new band back then.
No one knew who they were.
They had
We
already,
didn't even know who they were.
yeah,
You
they
know,
had already gotten the deal when I met you, and you were telling me the story about them, and you had us all rolling about it.
I have bad luck, like not bad luck like that, but well, I didn't say that about Rammstein, but we were looking at them like they were crazy. I wasn't saying they would never blow up, but that's happened to me like a bunch of times with like when we did Strangeland, okay, with Dee Snider. That
Yeah,
soundtrack has a lot of big bands on it, which is like Manson's on it, Pantera's on it, like a bunch of big bands. The funny part is that Kid Rock is on it before anyone knew who Kid Rock was, and I remember Dee going, "Yeah, I got this band, Kid Rock," and I'm like, "That's a retarded name. There's people they ain't gonna do shit." And like, boy, was I wrong. That's what I'm saying, because that was before even Ball with the Ball came out.
yeah,
Like that's how long ago Strangeland was, which is pretty crazy now that I'm talking to you, thinking about it.
yeah.
Because Kid Rock was not big. No one knew who the hell they were with that Strangeland soundtrack. And I remember going, that's a dumb name.
You were
Hysterical.
in the movie too, twice
Yeah,
in
we were the
one
band in the
scene.
movie. Yes.
Twice
You
in
know
one.
what, Bernie? Bernie, I love you. You are a genuine dude. I love that you remember the shit that I've talked about.
You're
Yes.
in line to go in the club, and then they get in
Yeah,
the.
yeah. All right, so if you watch Strangeland, we're the band in the movie. I had long hair back then, so it was two singers. I had long hair. Um, and the funny part is, I don't know if we ran out of extras or it was a weird day, but they used us waiting in line to get into the club. So if you watch Strangeland again, people out there, just watch it just for this fun fact is that we're waiting online to see ourselves, basically, because we're the people online, which is hysterical. Then it cuts to the band and we're on stage, like, but we wore makeup and stuff. It was that was a fun time, man. Oh my god! And then Cindy, our dancer, I mean, she died a while ago. Poor girl. She was awesome. You remember Cindy?
Yeah, yeah,
Chinese Cindy, our dancer. She was actually with Brett Harrelson, which is funny because he's in the movie.
yeah.
We shared a hotel with him, and I remember one time going. I don't know if it was her room. I think it was her room. Okay, we all went into her room, and he was in there, and we all hung out there. Remember in Bile, we had like 13 people, so there's probably at least 7 people in that room at one time. And I remember Brett looking at me going, you guys gonna leave and shit. We finally did, but okay. I hope you weren't married at that time, dude. Just saying. Okay.
Well, I'm sure he takes time every week to listen to
To watch your show, I
this.
know.
Let's hope, and then we end up on a TMZ or something.
Yeah, that'd be great,
Outing him.
dude.
Uh,
Yeah, we could do that.
so yeah, that's when you and I met. But you were already teching for Skid Row
Was
around.
I when I was in Bile?
No,
Because
not in Bile.
I don't seem like I was.
You
Okay, all
came
right.
through with Bile, and then the next time I saw you,
Okay, it was with Skid
you
Row.
you were out with Kiss on that
Okay, yeah, that
they were doing a small tour.
they were doing the farewell tour in 2000.
That was way back in 2000. They started the farewell tour.
It's funny. We did. God, I
Actually,
think
they
Minneapolis.
started in '96 because I went to that one, the first reunion.
Oh, you see, that's again, which is pretty funny because I wasn't even paying attention before then.
Yeah.
I was just knew I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go tour with Kiss, and it's the farewell tour, awesome. But you're telling me something I didn't even realize they were doing farewell before that
Yeah,
tour.
they got back together. They were doing like the big run with the original members. Uh, but the one thing I
Man,
remember about that
that's
show,
right. It was the original members, so that makes it. It makes. I always forget that makes it a little okay that was the farewell tour.
yeah, yeah, and I do remember the particular show we're talking about was in Fort Worth, and Ace did his solo, and he said, "Thank you, Houston.
But you said what?
Thank you, Houston." Right?
Okay.
That was a
Well, if he
big
did, I don't. I'm sure he's done that a million
yeah,
times.
yeah.
But now that you're bringing up Ace, I do have a funny Ace story from that tour.
Yeah.
This is it's really good. Okay. So he goes out there, right? And he's about to play Shock Me, okay? And he's like, all right, this next song is called Shock Me. Hit it, Peter. And Peter goes, we played that already. They played it already, right? And then Ace goes, huh, what'd I do without you guys? And then I swear, Gene from the side of the stage and his little curtain thing goes, nothing. And it was fucking hysterical. And then I've seen Ace again. I wasn't sure who worked the balloons but one time he was like, and he went, and that balloon popped. Like he shot the wrong balloon, so the
Yeah.
pyro popped the wrong balloon when he shoots the shit out of his guitar. And the funny part is that he went to the other one that was already popped. The other one popped. Anyway, all right. I got a few from Jack in me. All right, since we're on Kiss, I got another one for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
All
you.
right, good. Should I keep rambling out my Kiss stories? You can always edit,
Yeah,
what's good.
Everyone loves Kiss stories.
All right, good, because this is one of the best ones. Okay, besides, in order for Paul Stanley to get his butterflies out, he has one piece of chocolate cake, but he just takes one forkful. That's all he needs to get the butterflies out. To get the butterflies out, just take. He told Skid Row. I already know this stuff because again, I work for Skid Row. Paul has no idea who the hell I am. Those guys see me; they don't know me. I know them from being around Skid Row and being in dressing rooms and hearing stuff, and them come walking in and stuff. But anyway, we stuck in our head whenever. We're really sure we believed him, but one day we saw her outside his dressing room on a card. He had a piece of cake with a little forkful out. That was it. But anyway, before Paul went on every night, Snake would give him a word in an envelope, and he'd have to use it in the spiel. Like, all right, fucking Dallas, like that.
Yeah.
So one night we gave him diaper fight. Okay, diaper fight. Okay, and this is as he's like, okay, he's at the steps. He's about to walk up on stage. I'm always there with Snake, so it's not me. It's Snake. Snake coming up with the name, not me. But I was always with Snake, so I just got to see it all. Gives it to Paul right there. Paul opens up the envelope. He's like, diaper fight. Walks up on stage, and we're like, holy shit, he's going to do it. So he goes, all right, people, I see a lot of little kids out there. I don't want to see no diaper fights.
Damn, you froze up.
What's going on? And but you hear me and Snake cackling. It was amazing. Paul Stanley's amazing. He got up there, took that word, diaper fight, which is amazing. I could never use that ever. And walked up on stage and was like, all right, people. Yeah. Anyway. Speaking of Paul Stanley.
You've told me that before, and I tell people, I was like, I had a friend that was on tour with Kiss, and this is what happened. And it always gets a great laugh. And then I think, did I just make that shit up? Or did that did that really happen? So now you're confirming that it's not just a part of my imagination.
That happened too, which is great. It went on for 2 weeks. We gave a bunch of different names, but that name was the one that was it stuck out. Yeah. I still can't believe he used it. It's amazing. Real quick, speaking of Paul Stanley, I forget that black lady's name. She's a Democrat. She's all crazy. She's like yelling on TV all the time. She's old. That old black lady yelling.
Maxine Waters. What? Maxine Waters.
Does she not look like Paul Stanley?
Yeah.
Okay. Every time I go, holy shit, it's like Sylvester Stallone and Rambo and Paul Stanley. That's what I'm like. People always look like someone to me. That's what it happens to me. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. Drinking.
How did you get the Skid Row gig? Like, how did you start teching? Was it by accident because you were friends with them, or?
It's really crazy. Okay, I worked for Dee Snider for probably 7 years, which is before Skid Row. Okay, I hate saying this. I'm 53. I've been doing this a long time. So I worked for Dee Snider for like 7 years. Okay, we did Dee Snider's SMFs, bunch of shows. The drummer was playing with Dee Charlie Mills, which it's pretty funny. Like back in the day, I was a lot younger. Okay, so Charlie Mills used to tell me, fun fact, he was the original drummer in Skid Row before Robert Fuso. I never believed him. Okay, I'm like, whatever, dude. And then it's funny. One of the guitar players, Tony in the band, one day I remember telling me he bought a head from Snake, and I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah, whatever, dude. You don't know Skid Row. Like, I didn't think these guys even knew them. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, as time went on, um, Skid Row was broken up. They would do an Ozone Monday,
Yeah.
and Charlie was the drummer in Ozone Monday when they started it. So Charlie brought me. I was like, wow, apparently he does know Skid Row. Like, he brought me from D over to Ozone Monday, where Skid Row had a different singer and whatever. So I started checking for them, you know, and then from there, which is kind of weird because at that time I was about to go to school for computers and something stupid like that, And I remember that day I was going to call, you know. And then my phone rang, and it's a phone actually on the wall. I remember the whole scene. I was in my kitchen, and the phone was on the wall, like a real phone on the wall, like people used to have. You could choke people with the cords and
Yeah.
stuff. Anyway, takes like 10 minutes to dial. The phone rang, and it was Charlie Mills, and Charlie Mills is like, "Yo, you want to go on tour with Kiss?" I was like, "What? Yeah, of course I want to go on tour with Kiss. You fucking kidding me?" I actually I had the pamphlet in my hand for the computer school, which is kind of funny. I kind of remember throwing it, which is like being funny. And he's like, yeah, they're putting Skid Row back together, and we're going on tour with Kiss. And I was like, holy shit, dude! So that's how I jumped from Dee Snider to Skid Row.
Okay.
Charlie brought me. Thanks, Charlie. Poor guy. He wound up getting fired from Skid Row like maybe a year into the tours. They
Yeah.
got Phil Varone, that crazy bastard.
And then you came back through. You guys, Skid Row were on a bill with, I want to say Poison. You guys came back through Dallas.
Dude, that Poison and Vince Neil,
I came back to
right?
visit. Came to
Jackal,
visit you
maybe?
that day, and you pulled me on stage. We're watching Snake, and you're like, he's gonna come up, and I'm gonna pull you up, and you just scream, yeah, like,
Oh, when we do that, God, I forgot what song it was, which is
yeah,
crazy.
and
Yeah, that's cool. Dude. I don't remember doing that for you. That's
yeah,
awesome.
and I remember you pulled me out to do that on stage, and then my phone just blew up.
Dude, so listen, now that I never, don't remember doing that for you, so when I come to a Duran, you're going to pull me up. I'm like,
Yeah,
girls on film. I want to go, 2 minutes, baby. I got your picture. Okay. I think that's what this is. Dude, for nothing, it's amazing that you do what you do, and I've been doing what I do forever, and you were just my fucking friend that I've known from Dallas, and it was crazy that I, I forgot that you even worked for Aerosmith too. It's like, how did you start doing what you do? I mean, because you were just my friend. Next thing you know, I heard you working for Duran Duran and you worked for Aerosmith.
I think I called
How
you.
did that happen?
You said I called you, and I said, hey, I got a gig with this country artist. Uh, do you have
You
any?
did? Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, and then you just said, yeah, don't fuck up. And if you got to fix one guitar, open the other guitar and and look at that and just do everything connect everything the way it's on the other
Really,
guitar.
dude? That's awesome. I don't remember
And
that at all.
and then yeah, so I got I worked for a couple of country bands, and then I worked for Pharrell Williams. He has a rock band
Dude,
called
are you serious, bro?
NERD.
Again, dude, you blow my mind because I didn't know that. And you couldn't tell by looking at me, but he's like one of my favorite artists like ever, dude. I
Oh,
cannot believe that. That's amazing. Because I mean, I know talent when I see it, so I'm allowed to say. I mean, Pharrell. I mean, Nerd, the
yeah,
fucking the rock star
that's who
song
I
and the
toured
lap dance
with
song.
Nerd.
My favorite songs, dude.
It
Like
was
wow, way before he started doing. But go ahead. Sorry,
oh no,
I'm
no, it's
interviewing you
cool.
now,
I was working with them.
so I want to know.
It's I'll tell you a funny story, and he's not listening, so don't worry. I don't we were the
He's like, wonder what Birdie's doing.
Chad
Go
Hugo,
ahead.
the other guy, the Neptunes, Pharrell and Chad. They're part, and he was in Nerd, and he just kind of went by his own schedule. He's a strange cat, strange cat. And we were on our way to a gig in.
Oh,
Anyway, he lived in
doesn't
Virginia.
matter.
We were on our way to a gig near there, and he missed his plane. Oh, we were doing a gig in Florida, and he missed his flight. And so tour manager's tour manager was trying to get a hold of him and called him, and he goes, and I could hear only one side of the conversation, like, "What? You do know that the show's tonight, right?" And then he just hung up the phone. He goes, "This fool's in a car. He missed his flight, so he rented a car and he's on his way to the gig from Virginia." Chad
So,
Chad
so
didn't realize what time his flight because he just kind of goes by his own time. So he just rented a car and he said, "Yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'll be there in a couple of hours." And so now, okay, yeah, that's what I did.
man,
And I got the Duran gig, and then I've been with him for almost like 50.
wait. Okay, hold on. You had the Pharrell thing. You were at the airport with a whole one. The other guy missed his flight driving the car. So how did you from that get to where you are now? How'd you get
How,
Aerosmith? Did you Aerosmith before Duran Duran?
no, I did Aerosmith for their residency. I did Duran. I got called to fill in for the
Oh,
in Dallas, and
I thought you already did Aerosmith at the time you were doing Pharrell, and then from Pharrell you got the Duran Duran gig.
yeah, and then later on, our production manager from Duran Duran started production managing for Aerosmith, and they were
Oh, okay.
residency in Vegas, and he called me, and I actually turned it down because I was doing this other gig that I really enjoyed. This guy Jason Isbell, and I was really digging that, and then his tour manager said I needed to move to Nashville, and I couldn't do that. Then a week later, they called me back and they said, "Do you want this gig or not?" And mind you, I'd already turned it down, so I said, "Yeah, man, I'll take it." And that was amazing. That's like me, like the poster on the wall. I got to
Duran Duran.
no Aerosmith. I wasn't even a fan of
Okay,
Duran.
Aerosmith. I still don't know how you got the Duran Duran gig because that's where
Oh
it
yeah,
kind of broke up, and
they came into town into Dallas to do a show for VH1, but their bass tech was having issues getting over here, and
oh, it was one of those things. No
I got a
way,
call a
dude.
week before if I do it. Yeah, and then they called me back and they said, "Hey, we're doing South by Southwest. Our base tech is still unavailable." And then uh I about a week later they said, "Hey, are you busy till the end of April?" And I said,
That's
"No."
awesome, dude.
And I make this joke,
Believe it.
but the production manager that hired me, who's passed away since then, he left mid tour, and we got a new production manager. And I always say I didn't tell that guy I was supposed to go home, and so here I am still.
You know what's funny, dude? People have asked me like, because I worked for Skid over 20 years. That's a long time.
Yeah,
Work for a band. Like, how do you do it? I'm like, people think I'm just like think I'm this super tech. I'm not a super tech at all. Even to this day, I'm not a super tech. But it's just I always tell people all the time. It's like as long as you're cool, and I know you're a super cool motherfucker. As long as you're cool, you could work for anybody as long as you want. You just can't be a fucking like. There's so many idiots out there that get like I actually when I started working for Tesla, I saw Frankie go through seven guitar techs. Seven guitar techs when I started working for Tesla. So that first year, he would get a tech, and every month he'd be gone, and some other guy would come in. And it wasn't because he wasn't a good tech half the time. It was just because didn't know how to hang on the bus, didn't know how to be cool,
yeah.
didn't know how to sit by yourself and not bother anybody with dumb questions. Just saying that's like a
So
and I was thinking before that even talk about tech talk. We'll talk. This will be the tech talk section.
okay,
These days, you can learn anything on YouTube. So if someone asks me, "Hey man, can you fix something?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I can." I was like, fucking easy. Which is crazy. Back in the day, you couldn't do
I
that.
know
You had to know
everything
what
on
you were
YouTube.
doing. Have you noticed the new? Man, which is even funny. Because even now, you used to have to solder pickups on. Remember, you had to solder the
Yeah,
wires. Now they
everything's
got little
plugged now.
plugins. I know. I was like, dude, first day I saw that, I was like, I was like, wow, it's about time. How did I not think of this? Some tech had to think of that.
That's an
It's
inside
really
joke
like,
with that's an inside joke with everyone that knows me. My soldering techniques are to they leave
here's
alone
the thing.
tired.
They're mine either, okay? You know why? Because we don't solder stuff every day.
I know.
That's why I try to explain. Like, if you think of the reality is, the guitars don't go down that much. You
Yeah.
know, I could change a string quicker than anybody in the world and stretch them and tune them way quicker than anybody. If something breaks down, I'll fix it. I'm quicker. Well, maybe not. You know what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm quicker than you, but
Oh
I'm saying
no.
like when. And what the worst part is that when something does go down and you do fix it that quick, at the end of the show, at least the what I've had. I'm not saying your guys, but it's always like, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. It's not like, yo, good job fixing that. The
Yeah.
crowd didn't even know.
Right?
We never get like, that's amazing. You weren't standing out there for 3 minutes trying to figure out what the hell is going on, which has
I would
happened a
say
lot.
our specialty our specialty is getting off the stage at a festival setting, getting on and
Oh,
off.
you guys.
No,
Well, who would go on after you? Who the hell
well,
would go on after Duran Duran?
we've done some shows where we're not the headliner. It's kind of crazy, but just getting on, like you have a 20-minute, window to get one band off and to get you on, you know.
Yeah. Like,
That's
we're lucky. We got the meat racks and everything. All the drums are on the riser.
yeah.
Our shit's on and off. But crazy part is that sometimes you'll play like a House of Blues or something like that, and you'll be like, "Yo," then we got to take everything off the rack. Everything's got to come out. And some of them are real pain in the ass. Like, was this built for bands or not? I don't know if you dealt with it sometimes. Get like
Oh,
loading into some House of Blues. I can't remember which ones. Some of them are amazing, but some of them are like, "Yo, is this built for bands?"
yeah.
I'm like,
Some of them
you
used to
know,
be something else, and now they're a house of blues.
yeah, that's what I kind of figured too. But
Yeah.
I don't go that deep. I just like talking shit.
Who
So.
do you look after in Skid Row?
Well, through the whole 20 years, it was Snake, Scotty, and Rachel.
Uh-huh.
So at one time, I would just do Snake. One time, I just did Scotty and Rachel. One time, I did Scotty, Snake, and Rachel. It's almost a tongue twister. I almost said Snachel. I almost said Scotty, Rachel. Yeah, pretty crazy. But doing the tours were like, I just can't believe how long ago that was. I mean, really, it was crazy. I had hair
It's
back then. It was
quite a
weird.
bit. That's quite. Do you still keep
And
in
it's
touch
funny.
with them?
When Tesla called me, um, it's funny because they called me and they were like, and remember, this was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Skid Row and Tesla toured for the Rock Never Stops tour. Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were crazy. Like, I got a beer bong tattooed on me. Me, Snake, do. Tommy does. Skio from, he was in Tesla. Because we were doing beer bongs all day and just getting wasted all day. Like, Snake wouldn't go on stage unless I was wasted. I'm the tech, and he would like do guitar solos and I'd come out there with the beer bong. But anyway, so 20 years later, cut 20 years later, I get a call from the guy from Tesla saying they needed a bass tech. And he goes, "Hey, you can't be drink," because they're sober at this point too. You can't be drinking and doing all I'm like, dude, I'm 50 years old. What do you think? You think I could do that anymore on the road? You got to be kidding me. Because that's how it was back then. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and not to get off, I remember you talking about the Poison thing. I just wanted to tell you something funny. Because I remember from being on that Poison Vince Neil tour where, okay, first day of the Poison tour, Snake comes in the dressing room. He's like, talk about they want us to leave after they're done. Okay, so like Skid Row plays, Poison's rules. The band plays, they got to leave the arena. So they want us to pack up and leave. I don't know if I ever told you that. Like, we were supposed to play and leave. And Snake's like, yeah, right, you're out of your mind. That's not happening. So we wound up not leaving so much that we brought in their rolling bar that they got from Pantera. It was
Yeah.
awesome. We were just rolling this bar. We called Club Benders. We'd set it up, we'd put up lights, bam, bam. And like every day there'd be a party in our room. So there'd be like a line of people. Well, that line of people was for that crazy girl in the bathroom, which is weird. Um, Fun fact, I've never gotten a Hummer from one of those goddamn scabs. It's crazy. But there was a line that time. That's what I'm talking about. Coming out of our dressing room. It's back in the day when chicks used to do shit like that. And I'm not kidding. There was a line coming out of Skid Row's dressing room of dudes. Some chick was, and God, I can't tell anyone that story. I'd be like, I don't know if I get in trouble. But there was somebody from Poison on that line. That's all I got to
Okay.
say. That's what I'm going to say. I could say that, right? There was
Yeah.
someone from Poison on that line. And I love that they were trying to tell us to leave. And here we are, like, no, we're the party, nevertheless, that you're online waiting to, whatever. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then Alan Vine played bass in Vince Neil's band. He wound
Yeah.
up being a bass player in my band, Creep. So I've known Alan for a long time. Okay, so he's Vince's bass player on that tour. Okay, Poison had passes where each one had their face on, like CC's pass, Brett's pass. That's who's allowed in certain people's dressing rooms. Blah blah blah. So it's kind of foggy, but I remember Alan getting pulled into. I mean, I guess I can say whose room. I mean, who the fuck cares, right? I mean, people aren't listening. Okay.
Okay.
He got pulled into Ricky Rocket's fucking dressing room and got reprimanded for talking to chicks with Ricky Rocket's passes on. Yeah, that's a real thing that's happened, bro. Okay? It's a real thing that's happened. I've never seen it since, which is crazy. I've never seen it since, but that was a real thing. And I don't know if you remember that there was a point on that tour where Vince Neil and Bret Michaels got into a fight. It was kind of like
Remember.
on whatever news it was, at that time. But Big John was like right there in the middle too, and because Vince was actually at the bus yelling up at Brett because Brett was on the bus step and Big John was getting in the middle, which is kind of funny because of that. Isn't that weird? And I kind of don't really remember what happened. I don't know if Vince threw a punch or whatever, but I do remember being annoyed because that was our last show because they were going into Canada and we weren't.
Yeah.
So we are like, shit, man, we're not going to get to see the rest of the, like what happens after this.
You didn't want to do the shows. You just wanted to see what was these two.
We wanted to see, yeah, I mean, after all that, dude, there was a lot of people there. A lot of people saw that. It was by the buses. Vince was yelling at Brett. Brett was yelling at Vince, blah, blah, blah. And not for nothing, Vince is completely fucking right.
Yeah.
It's Vince's, no matter who you are. I mean, come on, man. And this is, and I want to say in 2000s, I guess, early 2000s, 90s. I don't remember when it was. Maybe 2001. Maybe that's what it was. Yes, but it's crazy that Poison would do that, and they did. I mean,
He froze up. You there?
you're frozen.
Okay, there you are now.
All right, I forgot what we were talking about.
It's just started storming here. I don't know if that could affect the internet, but the Wi-Fi, we still call it the internet.
What?
My internet.
We get my. I'm trying to think of. I was thinking of stuff. All right, you know what? I can tell you real quick. I can tell you. You want to hear an old Gwar story?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the Dave Brocky Gwar story?
No.
Okay. So it was funny because I remember it was 94 because I remember that was like the Gwar tour 94. That's what the shirt said. I'll never forget that because that was one of our first to us our first big tours being in Bile. And but anyway, I remember the first or second day on tour, okay? I'm on mushrooms and I'm having a good time. Yeah, I'm like, I think it was right after the show. Right. It was right after the show I took mushrooms. I didn't do the show. All right. After the show, I took some mushrooms. Dave Brocky comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, you want some of these Quaaludes? He had a handful of pills, and he goes, the same ones Kurt Cobain OD'd on, And I was like, no, I'm good, bro. I'm good. He went, I was like, fucking holy shit. So anyway, night went on. I'm in Gwar's bus with the Jizmac and the guitar. I forgot. Oh my God, I forgot their names. So long ago. But I was in the bus with a bunch of Gwar guys, and all of a sudden we hear a knock on the door. Open up the door. It's security from the hotel. They're like, "You got to come inside. Your guy's on the floor. He's in convulsions on the floor." And I'm like, "Holy shit, man! This guy's fucking dying. He just took a handful of pills." And the fucked up part is, I'm thinking, it's funny that I remember thinking this, going, "Wow, tour's over." I wasn't like, is he okay? It was my first tour, man. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway. So anyway, we go in, and he's on the floor. He's like, going, I'm on medication, I'm on medication, you know? The Christmas tree is knocked over, so I guess it was around Christmas time. And they were telling us that apparently he, I forgot what started it, but he ran across the desk, knocking everything off, jumped on the Christmas tree, landed on the floor in the hotel lobby, right? Christmas balls everywhere. And he's going on medication. And the security guards surrounded him. And the Gwar guys are like, yeah, ball sack and jizmac. I love that those are the names. We're like, yo, they're like, we got him, we got him. He's going. So Dave's like, I'm on medication. I'm on medication. He goes, I'm on medication. I'm on medication. And he ran out the door. And we were just like, everyone was like, what the fuck just happened? You know, and like we didn't have a bus, we had a van, you know,
Yeah.
so we just ran to our rooms because we didn't want to get kicked out of the hotel. You know, it was just amazing that it was funny because to me, I'm on mushrooms, dude. I'm like, Kurt Cobain just OD'd and wherever the hell he OD'd in, like England or someplace like that. And then he took them all. And actually, you know, I was like, it scared me. Like, I wish people could have saw it through my eyes because I was on shrooms. You know, like even the people in the hotel didn't see what I saw. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, you know. But it was just so funny because I really thought he was like drooling, like, oh yeah, like he was gonna go, like he was gonna die, but he didn't.
Do you ever wonder how you made it through those times? Like you're still here?
You know what's funny? Like, I've been like, no, I do not know how I made it through those times. But there was a time in my life, probably when I hit like 30, 35, and I was like, going, if there is a God, I can handle the money now. You know, I've had the record deals and done all the cool stuff, and but you know, the money be cool. I won't, you know, I won't die now, but back then I would have died. You know, I remember saying that if I would have had money back then, I would have died. Oh my god! Some of the stories I hear, I'm like, it's and it, not for, again. I don't know what to think. Because sometimes you look at Lemmy, you look at Keith Richards, you look at people that lived a long time
Yeah.
doing a lot of drugs. You know, and it's like it's just you. It's your body. It's either going to happen or it's not. Unless you're again, I was
Yeah.
going to say unless you do a massive amount of drugs, but those people have done massive amount of drugs. Like oh my god, like holy oh, man, it's funny. Okay,
And
sorry.
you have a new band, right? Or
Yeah, Messiah 9.
Cyanide. You're wearing the shirt.
Yeah, man, I got this cheesy ass baseball thing, basketball thing. Actually, I got one in each sport. So I was like, that'd be a cool idea, especially for baseball. The baseball shirts, you know, Messiah
Yeah.
9, you know, on the thing. But I've been slacking off on that, which is crazy because the record's done and you know it's out on iTunes and stuff. If you want to look it up. The YouTube page has some lyric videos on it, but it's funny. Like probably at least over a year ago, we shot 2 videos and I edited the videos. So it's like, man, every day with the AI stuff and there's stuff going on, it's like something else better comes out, something better comes out. You know, there was this program Blender. I was learning this program Blender, like you had to learn, and all of a sudden now it's a 3D graphic thing. Now it's like, oh, you don't need to learn this now because now you can just type it in and get your 3D graphic. You know, it's like so stuff started like. So I've been slacking on it, but it is Messiah 9. You know, it's pretty tight. And um, another thing that's annoying me, as I was thinking about, and I'm sure you're going to agree, and your fans are going to agree. Okay, I was thinking that there aren't going to be any more rock stars anymore. Like,
Yeah.
there's no more big rock stars anymore. Like, you know, like I hate saying it, but like the last band to ever be big with longevity to me is like Five Finger Death Punch. They were like the last band to blow up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know another band that's blew up and they're still doing arena tours. At least
Yeah.
from even then or from them on, you know, like okay, because the music industry changed at that point, right? Okay. So now with AI and I could because like it's I hate being old, but I haven't used the music AI thing yet, where it makes you a song. You know, I heard about it, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I got my radio show, and I do the intro where I'm like, "All right," you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this thing. I'm gonna do a little make me a intro for my radio show. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This thing sounds like no. I was like, so I'm like, wow, music is completely dead. Like I feel bad for bands right now because even if you're in a band and you write this amazing songs, no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
Because either they're not gonna believe you wrote it, because they're gonna think you AI'd it and just copied it, or that's your AI song, or and there's so much filling up everything that nobody can. I mean, it's really true. Like the reason why I can work for, okay, I've been working for '80s bands for over 30 years.
Yeah.
That's got to tell you something,
Yeah.
right? I work for Tesla. Tesla's an '80s band. They're still touring. Skid Row is still touring. Def Leppard still touring. Motley Crue still touring. Like all these old Duran Duran still touring. Oasis is coming back. Like all these bands are still touring because Kiss is still touring. Like there's nothing's filling that space up because when the music industry changed, it got weird after because I even remember like that's around the time you had to pay to play.
Yeah.
That's when that started too. When Five Finger got signed. Because I remember talking to Zoltan about it, and he was like, "Yeah, when they got signed, that's around that time." And like I remember going, "Wow!" Like now it's really even more fucked. Oh yeah, and then the internet and all the bullshit with record sales, can't sell records, you can't make money in a band. And now with AI, like you couldn't even make money even with your song in a movie.
Yeah.
Or anything. They won't, because they'll just hit a button and there's our song in our movie. Like, so, like I'm just saying, there's no royalties. There's no like.
No, I read an article.
I'm
I read an article that this band on Spotify had like millions of streams.
yes,
Turns out it was
that's
an
what
AI band.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Crazy, right?
And so the reason why I brought this up, right, is because you asked me about my band. I always feel guilty that I'm just sitting on it because I know how goddamn good my band is, but I know no one's going to really care right now. So I'm not really rushing to get my stuff out because the thing is so saturated that, again, no one really cares.
Mm.
And, then I wish they every week, I'm like, oh, something else is going to come out. And something else does come out. It makes my video look better.
And I
That's why I
think
haven't released them yet.
back to your point of like you've been touring with for 80s bands for 30 years, that those bands
Yeah.
it's a those songs actually bring back memories for people, and they were
Yeah.
organically written by 4 or 5 guys, or
Right. Right.
and
But that's
that's what people
us.
want. You're not
But
going to
that's our age.
yeah
Right.
yeah.
There's
But
younger kids
it's
now.
people our age who are going to the shows,
Oh, I know, bro. And I'm sure you know. You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I can't imagine what yours looks like. Because yours is, because, I don't know if you're saying this stuff. Anyway, you show what you want. But like when I look at the crowd, I can't stop laughing, bro. Like there's, I can't tell you last time I saw a hot girl at a goddamn concert. But I know it's our concert because the people are old. I understand it. I get it,
Yeah. Tell me about this radio show. You told me before we started recording, man. I didn't even know you had a radio show.
Yeah, it happened like a couple of months ago. Like it's a 99.3.
Mhm.
It's in North Dakota, and it's like a modern rock, station, which is kind of funny because sometimes I'm like, you're not gonna hear Pat Benatar here, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, they probably played Pat Benatar,
Right, played right before I
but you're
came.
not gonna hear it in my hour, It's kind of funny because it's called Vintage Metal Meltdown.
Yeah.
Okay, what's funny? I was trying to come up with names, and I AI'd name ideas, and I got 6,000 names. And I love that the one that I settled on was that one because everyone was just so like, you know, I was never good with walking into Blockbuster. I know you people know who that is, but Blockbuster, because I get like, oh, it's too much to pick from. So anyway, yeah. So it's vintage. It's a figure because I'm old school and I play metal, but I'll play rap. I'll play anything old school that I grew up liking. And I try to pick bands that I was on tour with, or play, or had stories about,
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I'll tell stories and play the music, whatever. So it's kind of cool, did my 10th episode actually this Saturday.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
it's fun, dude. I've never tried to be a DJ. No idea what I'm doing. It's funny because I like it. most DJs are like, all right, next up is, I'm like, all right, next up, I'm going to give you guys a little Pantera, a little 5 minutes alone. You know, I'm like, it's kind of funny because I do it like I'm on stage. But then I'll talk like this and tell my stories like this, and then I'll, you know, I'm having fun with it. It's really awesome. And I get to play my bands, my old bands I've been in, stuff, like I say, stuff I like. I was playing Drowning Pool. I still can't believe, like, when I think of you in Dallas, how cool it was when I come through Dallas. Like, if you were to ask me back in the day, where do you like the best? I'm like, Dallas, you know? Now if you're actually like, I don't know. I really don't. I don't care.
Dallas,
Like,
Dallas became like your second home, man.
dude, it was. Yeah, I loved it. I loved coming there. Like, oh my God, you guys had Pantera, which is still to this day my favorite band in the world. I know you guys probably don't like it as much as I do
No,
because
no,
that's
no,
usually
no,
how it
no.
works,
I love Pantera.
but
I was actually about to say something, a Pantera story that you told me. We love Pantera.
oh,
Even down,
I love hearing stories. I hope I don't remember.
we
I
love
love,
the fact that they're touring again with
I
Zach.
love,
That's awesome. But I remember you and I were hanging out. And you were telling me you were at a club in Long Island, a live music venue, and between bands, the DJ would play songs, and he played. He said, "This is a new band called Pantera, Cowboys from Hell." And they played that intro, and as soon as that riff came in, you said the whole club started fucking moshing and jumping around, and
oh, yeah, yeah,
you
okay.
thought, "Fuck, well, that's over now."
I know, dude, it really is. It's funny because I'm trying to think, like, when Pantera came out, it, it was actually the only band that I followed for a week on tour.
Really?
It's funny because one of the original members in Bile, who wasn't in the band when we toured, so you never met the dude, and he knew Pantera. Again, was young. I didn't believe half these people that I knew, except he knew people. So he said he knew Pantera. He knew Dime, okay? So he knew Dime, and we got in. We went to Roseland. We started off at Roseland in New York. We saw Pantera there. He got us in. Then they had the next show. I forgot where it was, but here's the crazy part. Dime said, and now doing what I do all these years, I know like what he said. Like he couldn't have really meant it, or maybe he did, but he's like, "Yo, you guys should ride the bus with us." I'm like, for a couple of hours, I thought I was riding the bus with Pantera. Okay, so
Yeah.
anyway, he comes back out after he's like, Guy, their tour manager, Guy had a guy. Remember
I
Guy
saw.
Sykes?
Yeah.
Guy, okay. So he's like, Guy said you guys can't, you can't do the bus. He's like, but he gave us gas money, bro, to follow them. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Like he gave us fucking gas money. He goes, here's $100. Let me know when you need more gas. So we followed them from New York all the way down to Virginia. The boathouse was. Remember the boathouse? I remember the boathouse. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got I guess I got a big boat on the water. I forgot, But that was our last show. It was White Zombie and Trouble. That was that Pantera White Zombie Trouble tour. But that's how cool Dime was, you know. And I really didn't know him. But I just, again, my friend knew him, so I was just there. Fucking crazy. Yeah, dude gave us gas money to follow him for 4 days. See
Yeah.
Pantera.
I talked to Sterling Winfield, their producer, and we told some Dime stories, and it was never. I can't say I knew Dime. I can't say I hung out with him a couple of times, but I can't say we were best friends. But the dude treated everybody like he was their best.
Anyway, oh yeah, fun fact about other big bands. I was going to tell you, which is kind of funny. I haven't really told anybody this because it's not really nothing. It's not really that big a deal. But when I saw Chris Cale was on your thing, I love Chris. It's kind of funny because when Five Finger first started, I know Zoltan forever. Okay, so when Zoltan started Five Finger, he would send me the music. Okay, he wanted me to sing. Is that crazy? Did I ever tell you this? Did I
No.
ever tell you? Okay, so he wanted me to sing. Okay, so I have like 4 songs of me, my vocals, my lyrics on Five Finger songs from that first record, but just the music with me, what I would have done, right? So okay, a little bit of time goes on. Right around that time we were doing this, I moved to Vegas for a girl. Is that kind of funny? Retarded. And I had my band Creep. And I remember And I tell his old time, I'm like, yeah, he was mad at me. He was mad at me, dude, for moving for a chick. And he was like, yeah, I'm like, you got your 5 finger, I got my creep, no big deal. Time went on. I remember like working. You're still frozen. You're so funny that I could do this shit all day. This is kind of fun.
Mhm.
I'm about to start my own podcast. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, I know they'd be different. If it wasn't me, it was Ivan. But I remember Zoltan telling me we got the guy from Motor Grader, and they were deciding which one was whatever. And I remember that's around the time I just went there and I was like, who knew? I didn't know. Who fucking knew, dude? Like
Yeah.
seriously. But I do have like 4 songs of me doing my thing. And it's funny because I wasn't singing it like this. I was trying to not give him my voice,
Yeah.
give him like a higher range. And my choruses were heavy. And it's funny when Five Finger came out, I was like, well, Daz, you wanted this? Everyone's a punch is a punk. You wanted it, a drunk. So I could do that all day. Then I remember the choruses getting to like Pearl jamming. I was like, oh yeah, I never would have done that. They would not be as big with me in the band because I would have never sang those choruses. I mean, I would, but I would never came up with them. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm just saying it's kind of funny. I never really told anyone that. And what brought it up is the Chris Sprinkle thing because another fun fact, I've known Chris. I did say Sprinkle. Holy shit, Chris Kale.
Yeah.
His real name is Sprinkle, right? Okay. Um, when I had Creep in Vegas, he was a bass player. Okay, he was going to audition for my band, but he didn't need to audition. He had the part anyway. His look, his beard, we needed a bass player. So,
Yeah.
and the day he came down to practice, he came down and he's like, I can't do it because I got this bartending gig at the Hard Rock. And I was like, yeah, dude, Hard Rock Pool. I'm like, yeah, I'd take it too, right? I would take it too. So we took that. And then 2 weeks later, I hear he's in Five Finger Death Punch. I heard he was talking to Jason Hook, which is crazy. At a System of the Down show or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
just amazing how much time is gone, dude. I don't know where time is. And here I am still trying to do my other new band. It's just anyway.
Yeah.
But seriously, I don't know. There's that guy, the Youngblood guy.
He's good.
He's the new rock star. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
bro, believe me, I love hating people. Okay. And I was like, whatever. And I was like, okay. Okay, so, all right. Oh, this guy's fucking really, kind of like him now. I kind of like the fucking,
What's crazy about
I like his persona. I like the fucking way he is. It's fucking actually awesome. It's like about time. I always hated that he got famous, though. Again, is what I'm trying to say, which I'm glad I just remembered this. He got famous from fucking covering a Kiss song on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Another reason why I'm saying, I mean, Jesus Christ, the guy's really famous right now. And there's been nobody in the past 10 years I don't fucking know anyone that's really came out like this dude just came out. Like, I really don't.
I didn't know who he was. I bought
Me neither, till Black Sabbath.
Epiphone put out an SG Junior, a white SG Junior. That's my favorite guitar, SG Junior. And I bought it because I wanted to
I'm
have
going to take you outside with me. Someone smoke a cigarette.
All right.
I'm taking you outside with me.
I bought it, and it said it's the Youngblood signature edition. And I didn't know who it was.
God.
And then he does this Aussie thing. I'm like, oh, I get it.
Dude, you had a guitar by him, and you bought it, and you didn't know who.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just knew it was an.
How much was it?
$600.
Wow, he's selling $600 guitars.
Yeah.
Look at you. All right. Oh my God, he's selling $600 Epiphones?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you ever see my backyard? Check it out. Can you see it?
Yeah. Sunny there.
You know what's funny? I live on a golf course. A golf course. Never played golf ever. So weird. All right, dude. All right, I'm back. Has it been an hour yet?
It's an hour, man. Dude, I just wanted to say something because you gave me a compliment and you called me real earlier, and that's the best compliment I can get from you. And that now you're frozen. Here I am complimenting you. You froze up on me.
I'm coming back. Man, you know what? That's bullshit. Right in the middle of you saying how cool I am. Hold on. You take that. Okay, go ahead.
I said you said how real I was earlier, but that was really nice. But you're a real motherfucker, and I'll tell you
Thanks,
why.
dude.
I'll tell
Okay.
you why. And anybody who's ever lived in LA will vouch and confirm this. You picked me up from LAX one time when I flew in there, and I called and I go, "Hey man, I need a ride from LAX." And you drove to LAX,
I don't remember. That's awesome. I am a cool motherfucker, dude.
dude.
And anybody
You're
that
the
knows
only
fucking
person.
goddamn.
You're the only person that's ever come to LAX to pick me up.
Dude, that is awesome because I don't remember. And thank you for telling me that because sometimes I'm like, I'm not feeling such like a nice guy. I'm like, I am a nice guy.
But you
Picked up
you
fucking
understand why, right?
picked up.
Nobody
Oh
goes
yeah.
just to pick someone up.
You know what's funny? Honestly, you know what? Since you're doing that, I'm gonna actually I don't know. You remember Rachel, blonde hair Rachel? Tonight she plays drums in a Paradise Kitty cover band.
I don't
No.
know. I know who she is. I don't know her.
Okay, well, I've known her forever. She's like basically my sister. But she was when I lived in LA. She was one of the only people that would do that too, which is kind of funny because most people will not do that in LA.
Dude.
But anyway,
Well, brother, I have the most important question coming up now. It's the last question. Our podcast is called Is Breakfast Included? And if we were having breakfast, Brett, what would you have?
oh, I'm bacon and eggs, dude. Another thing, I hate fucking continental breakfast.
Oh,
And I hate going out of the country and getting breakfast because there's nothing I'll ever eat ever. I don't eat those little pieces of meat and shit like that and cheese. You
no,
know, I want a bacon and egg sandwich.
right?
If that's what you're asking me, but
Yeah.
I do make a mean French toast.
All right, man. So I'm gonna fucking make you prove that when I come see you.
All right, dude. I'm moving back to Vegas, so I'll be in Vegas.
When are you moving back?
Actually, once this house gets sold, I'll be moved. I love how I'm like it's my once my house gets sold. No, once hold on. Once my mom's house gets sold, I'm gonna move back to Vegas soon, though. Before the end of this year, definitely.
Well, brother, it was good talking to you, man. And
You too, dude. This has been awesome, bro.
right on. Brett Pirozzi, one of my favorite people, man. We've known each other, like I said, almost 30 years, and we lose touch and then we just pick up where we left off. You can find out more about Brett and his band at messiah9.com, or you can follow Brett on Facebook. He's really not on there that much, but under Brett Pirozzi. Check it out, man. And if he's got any music, check it out. If you see Tesla in town, look for him on stage right. While you're online, check out hisbreakfast.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram from there. Rate and review the show at Apple Podcast. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Leave us a comment, good, bad, neutral. I don't care. And while you're there, pick up a shirt. I'd like to thank Brett for taking the time to do this. It was great catching up with him. I'm done. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week. I love you, Mom.